Borderlands is currently in theaters, and going by the box office, it won't be for long. Ignoring every warning sign around the movie, the guys and I went to see it, and boy, was it awful. If you want to see a rundown of my thoughts on the film, click on the card on screen or check the description below. But since we all suffered together, I feel it's important to give the guys a chance to vent out their trauma. So here's a Discord conversation we had about 2 hours after seeing the film. The only positive we took from the night was the Beyblades down in the parking lot, the quick peek into a Deadpool and Wolverine screening, and lastly, it was a good bonding experience for all of us in the group. Anyway, enjoy the therapy session. Bye. Alright, floodgates are open. Alright, Tyler, I feel like you should start.
It was 2 hours of my life I'm never getting back.
Was it 2 hours? I thought it was an hour and a half.
I am accounting for me sitting in my apartment mentally preparing for the movie, the 15-minute drive to the movie,
the trailers,
us waiting for the movie, the 25 minutes of trailers, seeing Nicole Kidman's face in that stupid ad again.
I mean, that was more entertaining than the movie.
And then the train wreck that is the movie.
I mean, I guess I could say what I was gonna say a minute ago. Like, the movie lacked any, real hype. They're just flashing new things in front of you, and it's just like, I'm pretty sure they think they're doing something, but they're not. It's never, what they think it is. It's just more like, ooh, look, you recognize this thing, right?
There is nothing that motivated me. I don't know the right words. There was nothing that was...
engaging.
There was nothing engaging, thank you. Yeah, because it just goes from one location to another. Nothing was at risk. It was just, oh, I'm gonna shoot this thing, I'm gonna shoot this thing, and it's just... None of the...
Characters were taking straight bullets and explosions constantly.
And none of the action was actually entertaining because there was nothing at risk. Everything was just bouncing off everyone. Except for the enemies, they die immediately.
When Lilith and Krieg were fighting, I'm like, oh, Krieg, how are you gonna beat Lilith? And she has the infinity, round gun, and she's just unloading on him. And I'm like, he's not even dodging this. What is going on?
And no shields. No shields.
Yeah, no shield. I was talking to Richie and Tito about this, but, they made a point to show the head of Atlas had a shield. So I'm just assuming no one else had them, and I'm like, well, don't point that out, because now it's just apparent that this is something that only he has. So everyone on Pandora is either a sponge, or they're just super easy to take down.
So pros of the movie. Pros of the movie. This is gonna be a very short list. Things I liked about Borderlands the movie.
Okay, I like where this is going.
I liked the Easter eggs. I liked the fact that I saw Jessica Negri and Hendo Art, which are two very big Borderlands cosplayers.
Peter, put them on the screen.
I liked the little subtle references where they're when they were going up to Tannis's place, and you saw a poster that said Mighty Morphin in the background, which was a mission named Borderlands 2 that I remembered. I liked the interplanetary ninja assassin claptrap. I thought that was fun. That's where my enjoyment of the movie ended.
I mean, in terms of casting, I feel like no one was good cast. No one was good casted properly. Roland was not. Kevin Hart was horrible as Roland. Nothing against Kevin.
I think they hired Kevin Hart just because they couldn't get Idris Elba.
Oh, he would have been
Yo,
great.
That would have been awesome.
That would be amazing. The whole thing with Kevin Hart, it just seemed like they already pointed out, everyone was making fun of his height. We did at the beginning when we were looking at the poster, and the first thing they do is Tiny Tina makes fun of his height. It's like, okay, haha, we know about that. We're aware of his height. That doesn't make it funny. Jamie Lee Curtis.
You can't really not give someone a role just because of their height, though. I mean,
well,
he wasn't good for other reasons, but I mean, height is, I don't think that's a big deal.
Well, it's not about his height. It's more of the fact.
You're telling me Hollywood never doesn't choose somebody for a role because of their appearance?
It's not about
I
his
mean,
height, it's
yeah,
the fact that he's not an
yeah.
action star. My dad saw the trailer for Borderlands when we went to see Deadpool, and he immediately shut the movie down, and he told me just straight out, why is Kevin Hart the action star? He's not, he's a comedian. And the only person I could probably say that was actually a good casting choice, or an alright one, is Jamie Lee Curtis and the guy that played Marcus.
I like. Actually, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, no, I liked Tannis. I thought Jamie Lee Curtis was a good Tannis. So my main point about this movie that I've been saying since I've watched the trailers is that these people cannot exist in the same place at the same time fighting this enemy canonically. Like the moment doesn't exist. Krieg first meets Roland in the Bloodshot Stronghold just before the Warden fight. It's the first time they meet. When are they going to have time to do this adventure? Lilith and Roland already know each other at this time, so that can't happen. They already went on the adventure of Borderlands 1 and all its DLC, and then formed a relationship. Spoiler alert, at this point, if you haven't played the game, like, it's your fault. But it's just, like, these characters can't exist at the same place at the same time, fighting Atlas, who left Pandora after the events of Borderlands 1 and was essentially dissolved as a company once Hyperion came into power, and Handsome Jack basically shut him out. And it's like the only time frame where this makes sense. And
yeah, but they didn't care about that. That was never an intention. They had no intention
they
of
didn't care about the characters in general, because Lilith came to Pandora as a siren. She didn't magically get her siren powers at the beginning of Borderlands 1. Additionally, General Knox, I'm going to pull up a picture of General Knox. General Knox in Borderlands 1. General Alfonso Knox is a gruff man. He's a very gruff, angry-looking man with an eye patch and a cigar.
Perfect casting. I know. I'm gonna beat
They
you
nailed
right
it.
to it. Yeah, nailed it. Peter, pull up a picture of what Nox looks like in the movie.
And if they wanted to do something with the Borderlands 1 enemies, instead of who's like so unmemorable as a character in a name, I don't even remember his name after sitting through the movie, they should have done Commandant Steele, who was a siren, so it would have canonically made sense that she was trying to go for the vault.
Yeah, but they didn't. They
didn't, because they don't care.
The plot was horrible. There was nothing exciting the entire way through. They just went from location to location, and nothing was funny. But what really bothered me the most was just the bad green screen and CGI, because everything, I would say it looked like a bad video game, but even video games look better than this.
Pre-sequel?
Sure, pre-sequel was good.
I should have just said 3, but you know what I gotta say? The bad green screen, it's like they saw The Mandalorian and they're like, oh my god, they did all those sets on like that special stage they had. It's like, we can do that too. How much does it cost? They saw the bill and they're like, let's just do green screen.
I mean, they did have a budget of $150 million.
Only $150 million. It wasn't even funny at all.
The only part that kind of got me was the interplanetary ninja assassin claptrap thing, but that's because it was a very deep cut. that was a hard one to pick up if you didn't play through all of the first game.
I wasn't even expecting to laugh at all during the movie, and there were so many times I'm just looking at it, I'm like, that was horrible.
Yep.
Claptrap, well, you guys know I love dumb characters, so Claptrap surprisingly got 2 laughs out of me. Just the one time he got shot at in the middle of a conversation at the beginning of the movie, and his stupid scanning song, which obviously is not going to make anyone laugh but me because I'm an idiot.
I just liked it because it was just taunting Lilith. Like, I found Lilith so like unlikable. She's just miserable the entire movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mommy issues.
So
and then there's
Let's see when the plot just boils down to being like R2-D2.
yeah.
Oh shit, yeah, Claptrap's R2-D2. Or BB-8.
So
Either or.
It's currently this movie is currently sitting at 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
and
it went
even
up.
I think that's generous.
I mean, Morbius did better.
Yeah, but Morbius is art.
It is art. I feel like the movie did such a disservice to Tiny Tina. Even in the game, she's an annoying kid. But at least if you play the side missions and play a little bit of this, if you play the game of the second game, you at least see there's something to her character. Here, oh my god, they just take annoying kid, dial it up to not even 11 to 20. It's horrible. Was she mentioned? But Donkadonk.
Another missed thing about the movie that they completely ignored from the games is the guns being special as well. Having fun with the guns.
The guns were so bland.
Because every company would have their gimmick and they could have and their own aesthetic, but everything just all acted the same. Like nothing unique, because the world of Borderlands is all about the loot. And loot is like the special different guns.
Exactly. And then there's class mods, and then there's shields.
No,
There were no classes.
There's no elements.
No
subclasses.
specials. There was no specials besides the siren.
Where's Roland's Scorpio turret? Nowhere to be seen, because that would have cost another $1 million that they blew on their psycho masks that look like they were straight out of Party City.
Even though they literally said they were going to focus on the first game, like they said they took inspiration from the first game, clearly that doesn't matter because the story is taking, like, the timeline is all messed up. Claptrap had a special in the pre-sequel. Couldn't he have fought in any form whatsoever?
He really could have. Well, actually, no, he couldn't, Pierre, because Claptrap can only mimic other people. So if no one has a super, neither does Claptrap.
Well, he can still shoot a goddamn gun.
I said this to Peter on the ride home. I hate the I hate the retconning that the Firehawk is so important when, like, the Firehawk was just Lilith's alias in the second game.
Alright, yeah.
Like, it was just basically a moniker to scare the bandits, to keep them distracted from attacking Sanctuary. But no, in Borderlands 3, it's just like the Firehawk is like the savior Pandora, and the movie, the Firehawk is like the guardian goddess. And I'm just thinking, like, am I the only one that thought the Firehawk was cooler when it was just Lilith's thing?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Well, Richie, what do you have? Like, was there anything that caught your eye? Because, like, you have, like, probably the least amount of experience.
I just
you only
found
played,
it
like, the
as
second.
very just like cringy dialogue from like half the people in it, or most of it. It was really boring. The pacing was really bad at times. Really bad CGI. I don't know. It was just really boring, badly made movie, and not even knowing the source material, I still couldn't even like get it like well enough. Like it was just so all over the place with what it was. And then hearing more of how contradictory it is, it just makes it worse.
It didn't satisfy longtime fans, and it didn't satisfy general audience goers. It was not pleasing to anyone, and it clearly shows with the box office.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't do much better than it already is right now. Like, it's just stay where it's at, if not.
Well,
I love Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2. I hope this is the nail in the coffin for Gearbox. They stop producing half-assed dog shit games.
do you think they'll make another Borderlands? Like another looter shooter one?
The only thing I would support them doing is them remaking Borderlands 1 and 2 with the gun system and the gameplay from Borderlands 3. Because I thought the gameplay of Borderlands 3 was incredible. It's everything I wanted the other two games to be. So if they remake their actual good games with the good mechanics of the third, I would be over the fucking moon. But until that time, I am going to continue to shit on Gearbox and Randy Pitchford and whatever was on that thumb drive that he left at medieval times.
It looks like, we were getting good video game adaptations as of, late. Now this has just taken it back a couple of steps.
It wasn't even like 2 steps forward. It wasn't a step forward, 2 step back. We took a mile backwards. We had Arcane, we had Edge Runners, we had Sonic 1 and 2. I'll say 1 and 2. Mario was a good one.
The Fallout show.
Last of Us. Five Nights at Freddy's, even though that's not
the masterpiece.
that's not award-winning whatsoever, but fans loved it. See, that's the thing. No one likes this one. At least
My
the
favorite's
fans
Sonic
liked
2.
FNAF.
Sonic 2 is like.
I would rather sit through Five Nights at Freddy's with Morbius as a follow-up than see this movie again.
Awesome. Okay, I'll be there in
And
5
I hated
minutes.
both of those movies.
You love them both. You love them both. You morbed all over both movies.
Do you not have them on Blu-ray from Peter already?
I do.
I promise this year I am not gifting you. I'm not gifting anyone any version. Not a Blu-ray, not a 4K Blu-ray, not a DVD, not a digital release. No one's getting Borderlands the movie. I swear to God.
Thank you.
Maybe
I don't
Rich.
believe him.
You better.
I would be
you
mad at
keep
you
it.
specifically, not because you gave me the movie. It would just like collect us in a corner. I would be furious because you supported that.
No, the funny thing is, I'm gonna buy all you copies. I'm gonna mail them all to you during the holiday season. And I'm gonna have them all like sent by Peter.
Only if you buy them secondhand. Because then you're not directly supporting them.
Who's gonna buy them first?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Exactly.
There was no final fight scene. I know, like, oh, what about all that buff stuff in the canyon? Yeah, what about it? Like, none of them could get hurt.
It didn't even feel like a final fight. It was just
really didn't.
a giant gun in the sky.
Oh wait, I got something.
You do it and destroy.
They do not understand the vaults at all. In this movie, they
yes.
establish that, like, oh, these vaults are full of, like, alien technology that will advance our civilization. Yeah, that's what they thought was in the vaults in the games. And then it's revealed at the end of the game, no, there are monsters in there. Those things are cages. And then, like, in the second game, it's like, yeah, Handsome Jack knows this, and that's what he wants. He doesn't want technology. He wants the monster in the vault. In this movie, no, there is knowledge in there, but there's also just an octopus hentai monster that's going to play around with the villain because Lilith, for some reason, just said, okay, you can have him.
And she didn't know about the monster. She just...
No, she did, apparently.
Apparently she did. And that was it.
That's all she wrote.
I didn't realize this until we were walking into the theater. This was PG-13 of an M-rated game series.
Apparently it was R, but then they made it more family friendly in
Of
post.
course they did, of course. And it became crystal clear when, like, we've been saying spoilers. I would say I'll give a spoiler warning. I'll give a spoiler warning at the beginning, but I don't think anyone cares. There's a point where Lilith headshots a psycho, and he just gets shot and falls. There's no blood, there's nothing. There's no sign of someone dying until they fall down and stop moving. There's no
also reminded me-
gunshot, nothing. No blood, nothing.
Even during the scene with all the corrosive, nobody was melting or anything.
Oh my god, yeah, they were burning alive from acid, but nope, their skin is fine. That was another thing. There was no element use in any of the weapons. Nothing for shields, no slag. Tyler, I know slag is in the second game, but they don't care. They don't care about anything of the timeline, so they could have had that. No special grenades. All the grenades were just pull pin, blow up, done.
The whole point of Borderlands, it's a looter shooter with very unique and varied loot and guns, and there was zero reference to the most notable part, arguably the entire series. That is the most notable part of the entire series. The unique weapons and different elements and weapon types and different classes and abilities. Where was Roland's Scorpio turret? It was nowhere. That's like his fucking thing. Where's Krieg's Psycho Rage?
Oh, Krieg
Nowhere.
Krieg was
He was
good.
doing for 7.
Yeah, but it wasn't like any of the dedicated
Exactly.
stuff. It was just like
anything
him.
special. It was just him being him, and they just didn't do anything with it.
He was pretty calm for a psycho, to be honest. Like, they could have done the easy thing and have, like, Tina in danger, and that's when Krieg loses his fucking mind.
Yeah, also he could have gone without a Party City mask. Something more, well, $150 million budget quality.
Should have asked the cosplayers.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Oh,
here's the
They had two on set.
that's another thing. So I'll pull up the tweet. Apparently, Borderlands isn't cell shaded. Wouldn't it have been great if they had makeup and clothing to make it look like it was cell shaded? That would have been amazing. It would make the movie look better, honestly. But no, that would take effort.
Some kind of unique look to it, at least.
Exactly.
Tyler was like saying like all about like the unique guns and all that, and all I'm thinking of the entire time is like, yeah, you keep saying
I
that
will
word
say-
unique.
I
There's
will
nothing
say-
unique about it.
Lilith did have the Infinity Pistol. However, that did not appear until Borderlands 2.
Yeah, but here's the thing. She had the Infinity Pistol, but that's all she had.
And she did say the flavored text that's on the Infinity Pistol, kind of.
But that's the thing. Even though she had the pistol, that's all she had. The whole point of the game is to swap out guns. And they used the same guns the entire movie. There was no variety in the game, in the movie about a game that's all about collecting weapons. They didn't find anything in the wasteland. Also, the car chase, oh my god, it made me think of the car chase, because I was gonna say there's no variety in the vehicles. It was just armored up Jeeps. And I remember that one car chase where they're going so goddamn slow in the canyon.
Oh my god, I was seeing the same thing. It like, why do you all look like you're it looked like the Vespa chasing Boba Fett.
Oh god, don't mention that. Don't mention that. I'm trying. I like Richie mentioned this before seeing the movie. He said when I was gonna talk about the movie for a video, I'm gonna try and find something positive. It's really hard. I can only say, hey, Marcus was funny. Not even funny. Marcus was at least okay. Jamie Lee Curtis was alright, but I feel like she was in more of the movie than she needed to be. Simply because, hey, we can have Jamie Lee Curtis in the movie for way more screen time. And that's really it. I mean, she looked like she had fun, I guess. Trying to stay positive. Does it deserve the 0.69% out of 10 out of 100? Oh god, not even out of 10. No way. This is not anywhere near a perfect score. Those reviews online, well deserved. Well deserved.
It's crazy to think that somebody with $150 million, someone was given $150 million to make a movie based on a video game where the story's like already written, and they fucked it up that badly.
I was just thinking about it. I'm gonna bring up the PG-13 rating again. The games came out when we were in high school. The people who grew up with the games are well above 18. So they really... Obviously, they didn't care for the fans, so obviously why would they make the thing rated R for fans? They want the casual moviegoers. The people be like, oh, that's Kevin Hart. I want to go see that movie. How's that working out for you, Randy?
Probably not too well.
Jack Black as Claptrap, I thought it was going to be way worse. I thought it was going to be way worse. It wasn't terrible.
I had no problems with Jack Black as Claptrap, honestly.
Yeah, it was inoffensive.
Yeah, I thought it was, when I say way worse, I thought it was going to be unbearable. I mean, it's Jack Black.
It doesn't make his lines any better, though.
Oh, it does not make his lines any better. No, they were, when he was dancing thinking Lilith was dead, that was alright.
That was humorous.
That was humorous.
Claptrap's disdain for Lilith made a little happiness for me, because I really don't like Lilith in this movie. Roland was alright, it's just that Roland's crime is he's not really a character. Lilith's crime is she thinks she's a character.
That was the thing. I was expecting at the beginning of the movie, the whole movie was going to be centered around the relationship of Roland and Tina, because in the Tiny Tina DLC in Borderlands 2, it shows that she really cares about Roland and is grieving horribly.
I want to look something up. I'm going to look something up that's going to kind of validate everything we've been saying.
Okay, while you do that, I'll just say this. There is nothing between these two. Tina has more of a relationship with Krieg and mostly Lilith because there's really... Oh! I was gonna comment about this because Lilith narrates during the movie at certain points. Why wasn't Marcus doing the narration? I was really hoping, because Marcus does the narrations.
Why weren't the character introductions like the character introductions in the video game, which was like the whole fucking shtick of Borderlands 1? They had funny introductions and little quips about the character and little explanations as to who they are. The point I was going to make is I was trying to look up the budget for the DLC, Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, but I am going to take an educated guess that didn't get anywhere near $150 million. And that was jam-packed, full of story, character development. Oh my god, it was a work of art.
Dude, DLC back in the day did not cost an arm and a leg like DLC does now.
That DLC cost, what was it?
I think it was like $20, not even.
Even at that was like a full-length video game for 20, even if it was $30. Oh my god.
We spent the same amount on this movie because someone wanted to see it in IMAX than what we could have spent on buying the DLC. I mean, the games are on sale right now. We probably would have saved so much more money if we just binged all the games at once. Well, when I say all the games, I mean just playing 1 and 2. We don't talk about 3. I've seen so many people saying that the humor in Borderlands is dated, it's not funny, that this movie being so bad is a perfect adaptation to the games.
So,
thoughts?
Yes and no. Borderlands 1 was like kind of ironically funny. It was like legitimately funny at times, but like in some places it wasn't really trying to be. In other places it definitely was, and it definitely worked. Borderlands 2, they really leaned into the humor, and they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. It was hilarious. It was great. It was a good game with funny dialogue and all the other positive things I was saying previously. Then they got cocky.
Oh god.
Then they were like, we could just milk this type of humor for every other game that we ever produce, ever. And it will work. And let me tell you, it didn't work. Borderlands, the pre-sequel, had its moments. Again, it's kind of a not really memorable game for me. It was good in some cases. In most cases, it was bad, in my opinion. Then Tales from the Borderlands had some moments, but the humor became stagnant after Borderlands 2, and they just beat it into the ground. So yes, the humor in the Borderlands movie is very similar to the Borderlands games from like 2 and beyond, but that's because they just tried to milk it for all it's worth. It's the same thing they were doing with Handsome Jack. Like that was like a primo, like top tier video game villain, like
who ad-libbed most of his lines.
Checks every single box. Like, you despise this man, but he like the voice actor portrays him so well, and the writing was fantastic, even though a lot of it was ad-libbed. Like it was great. It was amazing.
It was perfect.
Like, I remember having like a visceral reaction every time I would hear Handsome Jack open his mouth, because he was just such, like, he thought he was the good guy, and he really, really believed it, and then he really, really wasn't the good guy.
But he was always entertaining to hear.
He was so entertaining.
That's the problem with the movie. It had no villain. The villain was nobody.
The ad-lib stuff was amazing when you're going through one of the beginning areas of Borderlands 2, and he's like trying to talk to you. He's like, "Oh, these pretzels suck," and it's just like, it's so great. And he's like, "I bought a diamond pony named Butt Stallion because I'm rich," and like you get a sense for who he is, and it's hilarious. And it's just like kind of like a bit of like slapstick with like a few fart jokes thrown in there, and it was great.
I love the
But
follow-up
like
call
again,
he gives
and
you.
it just became stagnant. Like, and then it was already bad going into Borderlands 3, and then Borderlands 3 was the nail in the coffin where they made the Calypso streamer twins the villain.
God, that
Which
was
is like,
terrible.
come on. And then apparently, I didn't play the most recent Tiny Tina game, but they bumped it down to PG or
They did. It's T-rated.
Rated T.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And it's just a bunch of poop and fart jokes.
Of course.
And that's what Tina
Claptrap
did in this
streamer
movie, where she tried to get Claptrap to say, "Oh, poopy fart butt poopy pants" or some shit. And it's like, so yes, this humor is very reminiscent of. It's very similar to the Borderlands games, but that does not take away from the quality of the humor and the effectiveness of it in Borderlands 2. They struck gold with Borderlands 2, and then they got really cocky, and it was a very rapid downhill landslide from there.
That's pretty much what I would say about it. Is what the games had specifically in 2 is they had wit and they had a good flow with the comedy. Jack talking to you the entire time like your buddies, eventually becoming just like he's getting sick and tired of you, and especially near the end where he just wants you dead. His comments just were, they had wit.
His comments go from cocky to desperation.
Exactly. And
that
here
is
it's
brilliant.
just like, I'm gonna kill you. Oh, look at me. Look at me. I'm just gonna kill you. Ha ha, piss fart joke. Ha ha ha. That's blood, gore, even though there's no blood or gore in this movie. There was nothing to any of the dialogue here. It was just mind-numbing.
Yeah, it was brain dead. It was brain dead humor.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so any final thoughts on the movie?
Randy Pitchford should stick to close-up magic.
I wonder if he had a cameo in the movie. Like,
Probably.
I'm surprised a man with the ego he does didn't like put himself on Moxie's stage being like, oh, I'm playing the guitar because I'm Randy Pitchford.
He has to be somewhere. We just didn't care enough to look.
Yeah.
And I don't care enough to watch it again to find him.
We're never gonna watch this again. This is gonna just... It could be deleted off every server in the world. I don't think anyone would care. I normally feel... You know me. I find joy in some stupid movies like Morbius. Even though Five Nights at Freddy's had flaws, at least fans enjoyed it. No fan is going to enjoy this movie. It really had
because of
nothing.
fans and general audiences, like you said earlier.
Yeah, fans, general audiences. Action was dull. Actors were poorly cast. Not saying that everyone was terrible. Some people at least tried. Bobby Lee. Yeah, everyone loves Bobby Lee.
There's nothing else to discuss.
Moral of the story,
terrible.
don't see it. Don't see it.
Don't see it. We already spoiled a good chunk of the stuff, so I don't think anyone's watching this is just hearing us just constantly say everything that probably everyone else has heard. Don't see it. It's not good.
There's nothing redeemable from anyone's eyes that watched it, basically.
Yeah.
There's nothing good about the movie. It's just pretty much a boring shit show that is an insult to fans.
Boring's a good word. Like, there was really nothing to be engaged with.
Thank God there was no after credit scene. Me and Alec were so expecting Handsome Jack to show up.
Yeah, I was waiting for it because then it'd be like what they're trying to do, where like they just toss Handsome Jack in there to try and redeem something that's really awful.
Tyler, how long until you recover from this
I
traumatizing
don't think I'll ever
event?
recover from this, honestly.
We'll play
so bad.
Borderlands 2. We'll play
Yeah,
Borderlands
we
2.
Borderlands 2. That'll make me feel better.
Exactly. We had more fun. We had more fun being under level fighting the bunker than watching this movie.
Yeah, we were 3 levels under leveled for the bunker. It took 45 minutes and it was exhausting. And that was still more fun than watching this movie. And anybody who's done that knows how miserable that is.
We all good? We're all gonna recover from this movie, and let's go see Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's see that again, or Tyler
Ooh,
for
I'm
the
about to
first
make a
time.
name for myself.
Exactly.
I'm like actually down.
All right. Oh, everyone good?
Yep.
Yeah, I need
Yep.
to sleep off that train wreck.
All right.
Same.
Good talk, fellas. We made it,
Alright.
and don't worry. If the video does well, I will reimburse you for all your pain, misery, and everything. I'll pay for the therapy.